Florida bracing for its second major hurricane in less than 2 weeks.
Here's the latest on Helene. 140-mile-per-hour winds.
Life-threatening storm surge is expected. You need to evacuate.
All eyes on the western Gulf. Milton, potentially a major hurricane upon landfall on Wednesday afternoon.
So I've been in Dunedin for 40 years, and in my lifetime here, I've never seen anything like it. I live in a house that was built in 1952, never been a drop of water in it. And even though we evacuated our home, we didn't expect anything to really happen. I still remember texting with my neighbor, and I texted her and I said, "Can you see our house? Is it flooded?" She hesitantly, I'd asked for it twice, sent me a picture of our home. It was just this eerie picture with the light on the porch, with the water just below our window. And we knew then we were totally flooded out, and that was the gut punch.
I have been through many hurricanes, but never 2 in a row like that. And I really learned the definition of unprecedented, that's for sure. Helene was a storm surge event. Milton was a wind event, and I remember standing at the doors of the EOC and seeing that wind and just thinking, oh, I hope they're okay. After every storm, unfortunately, it's become a ritual. The fire chief, the mayor, and I get in a truck and we drive through the city. For Hurricane Helene, the first place that we went was the marina. And the pier from Edgewater Arms was above our fishing pier, and it was about 40 feet up. That's the first moment that I thought, oh my God. When the sun started coming up, we went along the areas, along the coast, the homes, and the people who were dazed. That was when you know that you have an event on your hands that's going to define the city for quite some time.
I know so many people were facing that same thing. They'd never been flooded, never had a drop of water, and walked into their homes and just saw everything destroyed. And I have to say, it was the most emotional moment, because you opened your front door and the floor was just streaked with a bunch of mud and all over everywhere, and you could see where the water lines were and where it had soaked all our furniture. And we had containers that were loaded with water that had pictures. The pictures were the hardest. It was pictures of my dad who had passed away, my brother who died of cancer, and that stuff you just can't replace it.
I think that my #1 job as a city manager is to remain calm. And I'm certainly able to do that given the amount of preparation that we had. We run through this, we practice it over and over and over again. So the question is, how do we get through this? But that's not a question, because we have to get through it. One person can be strong, but a community can be resilient. And using each other and helping each other was what really made this city special. Looking out on those front steps when we're deploying ice and deploying water, and people who just come up on golf carts, you know, hey, throw it on, I'm going to this neighborhood, and we did. You know, the volunteers, people just coming to help, that to me was Dunedin Strong.
I don't know if you've ever heard of the song Angels Among Us. It was just about people that come to you in your hour of need. So there were just people that came out of the woodwork. And it didn't just happen to me. You know, the Rotaries, the volunteers, our employees, everybody was chipping in to help. So you knew, like, we're gonna be okay. And actually, this is the silver lining, to know how great your community is, how much your community can lift you up and can lift all of us up that we're going through that at the moment.
I knew this is a special community when I came here, but it really showed itself this last hurricane season for sure. The community itself pulled together in every way. Neighbors helping neighbors when that neighbor was flooded as well. That speaks to resiliency. People think that's a thing or an exercise or tasks, but it's really fundamentally about the people and how it is that we bounce back. And we do it because we have each other.
Despite everything that happened, we are Dunedin strong and stronger together. Each sunset reminds us that the sun will rise again tomorrow.